everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this tutorial I'm going to show that how can you play the Dino game inside your Google Chrome using your hand gas store. That's mean using your hand gas store you can actually controlling the Dino game. So this project is dedicated to my sister and he actually loved that this kind of thing. So without any further ado, so let's get started. So in order to make this project, you're going to be using one library that's called CBZone. So in order to installing this library, you need to open your command prompt from the Windows. If you're using the Linux, you can just open your terminal. So type here pip install and the library name is called CBZone, right? So inside this library, you can actually get some module, that is built-in module. You can detect the hand, also the detecting that which hand is detected, it is left or right, and also count that how many finger is actually detected. You can also use in the media pipe library to actually making this whole project, and I already make that, and I have one video on my playlist on my YouTube channel that's called Hill Climb Racing Game Automation using the Python, OpenCV and the media pipe. You can also use this and you can actually controlling the video. But for the simplicity purpose, I'm trying to using this CBZone library that is already developed by the Murtaza Hassan sir. So I'm not actually trying to installing this library yet, so I'm going to click it to close that. So make sure that Python is installed on your system. So now what I'm going to do, because you're going to do this project in real time. So for that, we need to actually create one camera. So now let's create one Python file here. Let's say main.py. So now what I'm going to do, I am going to actually using the CB2, that's been the computer vision library called OpenCV. And using this, I am trying to make one camera. So let's say import here CB2. So after importing the CB2, now we need to initialize here our video capture object. So for that, you're going to use cb2.videoCapture, right? And inside it, we pass here 0. Why 0? Because we are going to actually using our default webcam that is already attached on our PC. So let's initialize into one variable that's called video. So now what I'm going to do, we are going to actually create one infinite loop. So let's say while true. And now we're going to read the frame, each frame. And this video.read actually give here two values. First one is the Boolean value. So let's assign into red. And another one is nothing but our frame. That's our video frame, right? Now what I'm going to do, you're going to actually show it, right? So for that, in order to show that, you need to actually using the cb2.imshow. So let's say cb2.imshow, right? And also we need to give here one window name. So let's say frame. And here should be frame. Cool. So now we need to actually add here one keyboard binding function so that your window, that's mean your webcam window should be stable, right? So let's say cb2.whitekey, this whitekey, and inside this we need to give here one infinite time. Let's k equal to inside this variable, and if anyone press Q from the keyboard, so that's in this time we can actually break this loop. That's in break this infinite loop. So let's say break. So finally, what I'm going to do here, we are going to actually release the video also. So let's say video dot release. Okay. So after completing all the tasks, we need to also release the video. Then what I'm going to do, you're going to actually destroy all the window that is available on our frame. Cool. Save it. You can go on the terminal and type here the Python main.py. Cool. And to open the webcam. Cool, you can see here it actually opened the webcam and you can see. So now what I'm going to do, you can actually detect the hand, right? So if I press Q from the keyboard and it will automatically gone. Cool. So now it's time to actually detect the hand, right? So for that, what I'm going to do, we are going to actually using the CBZone library, right? So now we are going to actually import it. So from CBZone dot, because you're going to actually detecting the hand, right? So you're actually using the hand tracking module, this hand tracking module, and I'm going to import here which one we need the hand detector, right? So let's say hand detector, this one detector. Then what I'm going to do, you're going to actually initialize here one object for that. So let's say hand detector, and inside the hand detector you can give here the confidence value. Okay, let's say give here the confidence. So that's we call the detection confidence. So let's give here 80%. If the confidence should be 8%, you can actually detect the hand. So let's say maximum number hand, max, and let's give here 1. We can actually focusing on the one hand. You can use 2, 3, up to that. Okay. but one person have two hand. If you give here the forehand, it will detect the forehand if there should be two person, right? So let's say detector. Cool. Now you're going to actually use the detector to detect the hand, right? So for that, what I'm going to do, you're going to actually use here inside our while true loop. So let's say detector dot. So after detecting that, we are going to actually find the hand, right? So let's say find the hands. So inside this find hand, you're going to pass here our frame. And this detected or find hands actually give here two values. First one your hands and second one your image. That's been your frame, right? So if I save it now and go to the terminal and go here and type here python main.py, and it will open the webcam just a while. And you can see it detect my hand, right? Cool. You can see a right hand, but it detect also left hand. But it not actually detected 2 1. Okay, in the same time. If actually change this to the 2 and it will detect a 2. Okay, left and the right one. Cool. So let's actually use this maximum number of hands should be 2. If actually make it 2, then it will detect the 2 hand. Cool. Just a while it will open the webcam. See, it detected 2 hand, left and the right. Cool. So now what I'm going to do, we're going to control the game, right? So for that, you need to also count that. See, the count should be the 0, then you jump. If the count should be 1, 2, or 3, whatever, it's not jumping, right? Based on that, we actually controlling our keyboard. Cool. So now what I'm going to do, now we are going to actually counting the finger that is up. Okay. So for that, what I'm going to do, if the hands is detected, if I try to print the hands, right? So let's say if I try to print the hands, let's make it 1 now. See, one thing actually happening here. If I actually run it, python main.py, and you can see here some list. See some list. Okay. If there is no hand, you can see here empty list, right? See left and also right. Cool. Now let's actually stop this. You can see here some empty list is here. And also you can see here some field list having the 21 value. So why the 21 value here? If I see the picture, you can see here hand landmark.png. Oh, I think I need to open it here. Okay, cool. So you can see here it have 20 value, 0 to 20. That's been 21. And you can see here some value, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is nothing but a coordinate value. You can see here all the coordinate it actually stored. And you can see here one list, and inside this list you can see here LM list. Okay, LM list. That means this list is actually based on the coordinate of the each point inside your hand landmark. Okay, so what I'm going to do, if the hand is detected, to actually remove this empty list, we're going to use here one condition that's called if hands is detected. If hands is detected, so what I'm going to do, if hands is detected, we can actually count that. Okay, we're going to count that, and also we're going to actually take the LM list from here. So how can actually start the list, start the first position of the list? We're going to actually use here hands, simple. We're going to actually use here hands, position number 0. So if the position number 0, we can get the LM list. You can see here this is one list. This is one single list. Okay, so if I am trying to extract the LM list inside that list, so we can actually take the first positions, right? So let's assign into the variable called LM list. Cool. So inside the LM list, we're going to actually store the whole data point. There's been whole coordinate of the LM list. And you can see a type is right because this is the right hand and another one is the left hand. If this is not detected, you can see here some empty list. So now if I actually save it and try to also print the LM list now, and also save it and just go on here and type python main.py, and it will open the webcam. Okay, cool. And you can see here now, let's actually stop that. And you can see here now single list. Okay, single one. And you can see here LM list, LM list, LM list. There is no any list here right now because it actually printing the value. So now we actually pass this LM list inside our finger up. If you actually put here the finger up, it actually give here another list. So let's see it. How can you do that? So let's say detector dot finger up. This one. If you're actually making this whole thing using the Mediafire, you can also follow my video. That's been hill climb racing game automation using Python and Mediafire. So you actually see that how can actually creating this kind of module. Okay. So now we need to pass here the LM list, right? And it will actually give here another list. Okay. So this list is nothing but our value. Let's say this is our finger up. Let's say finger up. So now if I am trying to print this finger up, then you can see one interesting thing here. Okay, Python main.py. Okay, see, you can see here one list. You can see here 5 now. And now, see, you can see here 1, 2. There's been 2 value here, 3, 4, and the 5. You can see all the number should be 1. See, all the number should be 1. So 1, that's mean in the position number 1, that should be 1. If the 2 is up, and you can see inside the position number 2, 1, 1, and 3, you can see 3 and 4. That's in 4, 1 and 1, 0. If the 5, also thumb is up, and you can see 5 finger. So now we can say that if the finger up value is equal to all are 0, so there should be no finger, right? Then you can actually jump that. If there should be 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5, we don't need that, right? So now what we're going to do, we're going to actually check that if the finger up equal 0, that's 0, 0, 0, 0, 5. So this should be 0 finger, right? Okay, I think got some mistake here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, we're going to actually give here one put text. So let's say cb2 dot put text, and inside it we're going to actually pass here our image. These are our images. Okay, so let's give here inside the frame, right? Not images. So let's here give here inside the frame, and now we actually give here the string. There's new text. Let's say finger count equal to 0. And now what we're going to do, we're going to actually give here our coordinate. So let's give here the coordinate. Let's say 220 and 460. I'll let you put it down here. And also the font of page, that's in font page. So let's say cb2.font hash complex. And also our scale, just in the font scale, and the color. Let's give here white color. So let's say 255, 255, and the 255. And also we need to give here the thickness. Let's give here one thickness, and also the line type. So let's say cb2.line a, quite long here. Okay, line a, this one. So now if I am trying to actually using this, let's actually close it now. Let's copy this out, Control C. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to paste it here multiple times. Sorry. Okay, cool. So if, and also here if, and also here if. Okay, sorry. Okay, cool. So if this should be 1, so our finger count should be 1 here. So if this is 1 and this is 1, that's mean 2 finger. So let's say finger count should be 2. And now if this is the 1, and also this is also 1, and also this should be 1, so the finger count should be 3. And if all rest of them, that's mean the 1, 1, 1, so let's say 1 comma 1 comma 1 comma 1 comma 1, so finger count should be 4. So now what I'm going to do here, we need to also count that the 5 one, right? That's mean 5 number finger. So let's copy this out again, and I'm going to paste it here. Okay, cool. Okay, so now let's make it, format it out, and if all the numbers should be the 1, so this should be the 5. That's mean finger count should be 5. Cool. So now it's time to actually run the code here. So let's go to the new terminal and just use this one. So let's say Python, okay, not should be there. So Python main.py, and try to run it out. Cool. You can see here to open the webcam, and you can see here finger count should be 5. You can see here finger count 5, 4, 3, and 2, 1, and 0. Boom. Cool. See. Cool. That's really cool. So you can see here 4, 3, 2, and 1, and boom. It's not 2 is not detected. So now we can actually give here one simple rectangle to make it cool in here. So let's give here one rectangle here, right? So you can actually give it the rectangle inside it. So I already noted down the coordinate of the rectangle. So I'm just going to pass it here. CB2 to rectangle, here the two rectangle. First rectangle, it should show the finger count, and another one show that the jumping or not jumping, like that. So let's save it now. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to run the code, python main.py. And you can see here finger count should be 5, and you can see 0, 2, 1, and 3, like that. So this one is nothing but for the condition of that the dino is jumping or not. So we can also actually put it down, because in the when the finger count should be 0, we are going to actually jump that. So for that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just copy this, and I'm going to just paste it here, and also need to change the coordinate of that. So let's give here the 440. Okay, and let's try to make it out. Should be jumping. Okay, and for that it should be not jumping, right? Control C. So let's also check this out. That's coordinate should be okay or not. I'm not sure about that. Python main.py. Okay, jumping. Cool. So if this is 0, so that should be jumping, and if this is not 0 or 1, 2, 3, or whatever, it's not jumping, like that. So let's also paste it here. So let's copy this out, jumping one. Let's use this, and also paste it. Okay, cool. And also here, not jumping. Cool. Now let's save it and also try to test it out. Okay, this is not jumping, right? So that's mean not jumping. So let's also copy this out. Just copy this out. I'm so lazy. Cool. So now let's try to test it out here again. I know this is so boring part. So you can see a not jumping, and this is jumping. Okay, G is actually go out of the frame, right? Cool. Okay, so let's also make it correct. So let's say, okay, so now let's try to run this out here. Again, let's say python main.py. Cool. So now you can see here not jumping right now, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and also the 5. And if this is 0, and you can see here jumping. Cool. So now we actually set up all things. Now we need to actually controlling the keyboard, okay, without tapping the keyboard, right? So now what I'm going to do, we are going to actually using the directory that you can see earlier in my folder directory. You can see a direct key. So now we're going to actually using this directory. So let's actually understand what actually happening inside this directory. And you can see here there's two value. One is the pass key, another one is the release key. And also you can see here one value that's called 0x39. So this is nothing but called the keyboard scan code. And this keyboard scan code is nothing but for the space bar. So when actually play the game, you need to actually press the space bar from your keyboard. So now we're going to actually making this one using the keyboard scan code. Just we are going to controlling this using the hand gesture. So for that we need the scan code of the keyboard. So we are actually using this scan code to actually controlling the whole game. So for that, what I'm going to do, we are going to actually first importing it from our directory. So let's say direct keys. Okay, that's mean this one keys. So from direct key, we're going to first import the pass key. Okay, that's called press key. And another one is called the release key. That is already available here. You can see direct keys. So this is the press key and this is called the release key. Okay, this is the release key. Press key and the release key. And also from the direct keys, so we need to actually import here also the space, that's been our space pressed, this one from the directory. So now we're actually using this two method, that's been two method, that's been press key and the release key. We're going to actually controlling the game. Okay, so for that what we need to do, so we need to actually using one time.sleep, so that when you actually run the code for the first time, it will actually sleep for the 2 seconds. And also we actually initialize this press key inside our space press key, right? So this should be the space press, right? So inside the space key pressed, you can actually put it here, the space practiced, and also you're going to create one set so that we count that how many actually keyboard, what I call keyboard button is still pressed. So using this, we actually store the current key pressed. If there should be 2 or the 3, we can actually store it inside one set so that we can actually give here one single value. If there should be double, that's been double type, that's been double tap, or let's say we actually tap the space bar in the 3 times, so it actually give here the 1 time. That's been inside this set. So this set is nothing but actually give her the not duplicate value. It actually not give that duplicate value, right? So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually pass here another thing. So now I'm going to pass here some code. So first time when I actually run the code, the key press should be false, and also the space press should be false, and also key count should be 0 and the key press should be 0. This for the counting, right? So when the key pressed, it actually pressed, we actually make this should be true, and also space press should be true. Okay, then we need to also store it inside our current key pressed. So if the key is the press mode or in the release mode, right? So when the finger count should be the 0, we can actually press the space bar from the keyboard. So we actually tap here without touching the keyboard. We will actually using this direct key, right? So we actually using here on the scan code, keyboard scan code 0 cross 39, and using this we actually pressing the keyboard virtually, right? So for that, what I'm gonna do here, we are going to actually paste it the code for pressed. Okay, so when the finger count should be 0, we are going to press the key, and inside this press key, we actually pass here our 0 cross 39, that is count from the directory, and we are going to make the space press to be true. That's mean right now a space button is pressed, and also we're going to pass here, that's mean the path here inside our set. That means our current key press set, and also the key press should be the space key press right now, and the key press also be true, and also key count should be key count plus 1. That's mean number 1. That's mean one key is right now pressed. So when I release the button, after pressing it, you need to also release them. So when you actually release them, so the space press should be false, and also key press should be false, and count should be 0, and set should be null. So for that, what I'm going to do here, we're going to pass here another code. So if not key pressed, that means it not actually, right now it's true. Okay, true. So not pressed mean if the false and lamp the current key press equal to 0, that means no key is right now pressed. That means it should be the release mode. Then what I can do, we can actually release the key. And after releasing the key, we actually making the current key press set should be null. If the key count equal to 1, that means if the key count equal to 1, there should be the press mode. Okay, so if the key press is not equal to key, okay, we can also release that. Okay, and also for the key in the key current key press, we also release them, and current key press equal to set. That's mean if this is false, that's mean no key is right now pressed. So we don't need to actually release them. If it's not actually key is not actually pressed, that's mean it should be release mode. Okay, if the key of the count is equal to 1 and the length of the key pressed equal to 2, that's mean 2 button is actually pressed. If the 2 button is actually pressed in one time, we can also release them. Otherwise we can also release them automatically. So this is the simple code for that. Okay, you don't need to actually understand this thing here. Just you need to actually understand how to actually count the finger and how to actually control them. Cool. So now in time to actually testing this out, the whole code. So for that, what I'm going to do, I am going to actually run the code. So first, I need to actually open the game, right? So you can see here game is right now opening, and I'm actually using my Brave browser. You can also using the Chrome browser and actually opening the RTX Chrome Dino game. So now I'm going to run the code here and also try to show that how can you actually controlling the whole game using our hand gesture. So let's go on the terminal and type here the python main.py. Let's say python main.py. One more important thing, how you actually run the code, you need to actually off the numpad lock from your keyboard. Numpad lock again. So when you run the code, that's mean how you actually controlling the Dino game, make sure that your numpad lock should be off from your keyboard. Cool. Enter. So now it's time to actually run the code, and code is already running, and it's also open my webcam. Cool. So now we need to also open our Dino game, right? Okay, so our Dino game is also on. So now actually using this, and boom, start. So let's play this out. Cool. Oh, actually my lighting condition is right now not good at all. So, again, because of the lighting condition, actually unable to count that clearly. So, okay, so I'm not so good to playing this kind of game. Okay, you can also play it using your left hand. You can see your left, not jumping, and you can see here jumping mode, curl and curl. Oh. So this is all about the whole tutorial. And hope you enjoy this tutorial, and make sure to subscribe my channel and don't forget to hit the bell icon for never miss any update. And I'll be back with another tutorial. So till then, take care and bye bye.